Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. It is Thursday morning, November the 2nd, 2017, episode number 209. I hope that you guys are doing fantastic. I hope your week is going wonderful. Hump day is behind us. We're on to Thursday, and we are trucking right along. The weather here in Northeast Pennsylvania is on an uptick. It's going to get back to warmer. Yesterday it was freezing cold, and supposedly it's going to be much better. So that is the good news around here. Yesterday I asked an interesting question, and man, there was a lot of interaction on this cranberry for Thanksgiving thing. And I love it that we're talking about Thanksgiving so soon, seeing as that it's one of my favorite holidays. But everybody's torn between jelly, fresh, or just making both. We even had comments on that. That's exactly what my wife does. She makes both on that day, and it's a thing. So I'm going to continue eating the fresh stuff. I love the fresh stuff. You buy the bag of the berries, you simmer them down, put a little sugar in there, and boom, you've got real stuff. But I am in the middle, guys, of a real life dilemma, and I don't know what to do. I'm calling out a lifeline on this dilemma. So as I've been sharing this week, guys, my back I've got one of these backs that does really good, and then all of a sudden, boom, goes out. As I shared before, it went Monday morning. I got up in the morning, went to put my socks on, and there I was on the floor because socks are so hard to put on. Well, my back is gone out, and tonight I have an amazing opportunity to do something with my son, Zachary, of course, which is always an adventure and memorable experience. And it requires me to be on my feet or sitting for quite a long period of time. And I'm telling you, my back is toast. I mean, at night I'm sleeping and I can barely move without the pain shooting up my back. So the question is, what do I do? The smart thing is to say, I'm sorry, I know we had plans, but I can't do it. And to rest and to heal. That is the smart thing. That's what I've been doing all week in hopes of getting better. I haven't left my house once. I've been working all day. And then when work is done, laying flat, just trying to heal. Or do I push through and say, it doesn't matter what, Betsy, you're right. Tiger Balm is amazing, but doesn't heal this, unfortunately. I've tried. Or do I push through and say, you know what? It's going to make it worse. It's going to be the most painful experience ever. I know. Ice too. Doesn't work. I've been doing this for years. I know, Betsy, right? I need a miracle cure. That's what I need. So do I push through because it's a once in a lifetime thing that I'm going to pay for days? Or do I do the smart thing? What a decision. Have you ever been in a moment like that? Where it's like, do I do the wise thing or do I do the memorable moment thing? And I don't know what to do. I'm having a hard time with this. I'm struggling. It's like a mental tug of war. I'm right now what they call the double-minded man. That's exactly what I am, the double-minded man. Can't figure out which way. If I would commit either way, it would be easy, but I can't commit either way. So I guess tomorrow morning, you'll find out which one I did. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, on we go. I've got some stories, guys, for you. And this first one is pretty interesting. So crows, like the bird, and I didn't know that crows were smart. To me, they're like a pain. They're just noisy and whatever, but supposedly crows are very intelligent. So this is an interesting plan. This is listen to this. In the quest to convince cigarette smokers, to stop tossing cigarette butts on the street, cities have experimented with ballot bins that let people drop in cigarette butts to vote for something, trash cans that light up and play music, pricey marketing campaigns, fines, and even jail time to try to keep people from throwing their cigarette butts into the street. Okay? Still, by some estimates, 4.5 trillion cigarette butts are littered each year, and the chemicals and plastic waste inside often end up polluting the water. They get washed away and blah, blah, blah. A Dutch startup has an unlikely suggestion. If it's hard to train humans to stop trashing cigarette butts, maybe we can train crows to collect the litter. Seriously. Listen, this is amazing. Through doing research on training birds, we found out crows are very smart. Crows can make complex tools to get food or carry objects, solve puzzles, and even hold grudges. Seriously. If a bird drops a cigarette butt in the machine's funnel, a camera will verify that it's a cigarette butt, and then the machine will automatically dispense a small piece of food. They expect the birds to learn quickly. Crows appear to be able to teach each other skills. The birds should be able to teach each other how to collect cigarette butts for rewards very quickly, thus multiplying the efforts of the crows. It's amazing to me that we can't teach humans to throw cigarette butts into a garbage can, so instead we have to teach crows how to do it. That is the fascinating part. So I will tell you this, cigarette butts are disgusting. It is one of the things that when I was a youth, I had fallen into the trap of smoking cigarettes, and I had smoked for some years. And as a young person in the wintertime, I would have to go outside and smoke, and then I would throw my cigarette butt into the snow. And the spring came and the snow melted, and all I could see was, you know, that mushy, muddy yard you get after the snow melts. And all I saw was cigarette butts everywhere that I was gonna have to clean up. And I said, this is the most disgusting habit I've ever had in my life. And I quit at that moment, and I've never had a cigarette ever again. If I had known I could get a crow, no, I still would have quit. I'm just joking. But it is fascinating that we have to teach crows to do something that we can't teach humans to do, which is clean up after themselves. Kind of funny. So, but next story. This is, I don't know how to feel about this, and I wonder if this really works. The title of the article, guys, is Can a Spoonful of This Powder Help Prevent Children's Food Allergies? All right, there's a lot of food allergies. It's growing very rapidly. This San Francisco-based Before Brands is the name of the company. Before Brands is taking a cue from Mary Poppins Guidebook with its new product, Spoonful One Daily Food Mix-In is what they call it. Spoonful One Daily Food Mix-In, a daily dietary supplement powder made to train a children's body to get accustomed to foods responsible for 90% of food allergies. Interesting. With one spoon a day, babies as young as 4 to 6 months get an introduction to proteins found in peanuts, milk, soy, wheat, shellfish, cashews, sesame, and more. Parents simply sign up for the subscription of packets, which they then mix into liquids, fruits, vegetables, or cereal. Proactive is better than reactive. This is their mission to reduce allergies prior to development. So this is sort of like the same kind of thing about when you go get a vaccination for measles or chickenpox or whatever it is, or flu. We give it to you a little bit before you get it, and then your body builds up a resistance or however it works. I'm not a doctor, but this is their idea of if you give them the powder that makes most fuel allergies come from, that their bodies will build a resistance to it. I don't know. Estimates that nearly 6 million children under the age of 18 possess a food allergy. That's 1 in 13 kids. This is their way of trying to combat that. Research studies have shown that introducing children to foods during the first phases of life reduces the probability of allergies. So research has shown it's possible. The study found a 5-to-1 reduction in peanut allergies after 5 years of feeding as compared with avoidance. The early introduction from 3 months of age to 6 of 6 allergenic foods was associated with 2/3 reduction, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of ho. Here's the key. The most affordable Spoonful One subscription is 12 months, which amounts to $2.50 a day or $912 a year. Scientists don't yet know how long food allergens should be included in the diet to support and educate the immune system. It may be an ongoing thing. So the question is, do you want to spend $900 a year to get a powder that you can give to your child every day, starting very young, in the effort of avoiding food allergies? For $900 a year, it's not cheap, there's no doubt. Maybe, I guess if you knew that it worked, then there wouldn't be much of a question, right? If you knew that it worked, the question is, does it work? And that I can't tell you. So, but very interesting, very, very interesting idea. One last thing, I'm not much for conspiracy theories. I'm just not. I hear them and I'm like, okay, like maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I don't put much time into it, much thought into it. Whatever. Like, I guess, I don't know why, but I just don't. This article I was reading And I was like, wow, I have heard this before in different ways, but this is really like something is going on. By the way, guys, I did not paint my fingernail, the one that's black when I'm waving my hands as I talk. That is a hammer wound, just so you know, because I know it flashes up on the screen once in a while. Yeah, that's a hammer banger right there. So, but anyways, the U.S. government keeps spectacularly underestimating solar energy's installation. Now, so what, you say? And that's what I would say. And what? Who cares? But when you think about the impact of this article and the information in it, in government policy and what you and I believe, that's when it gets really intriguing on the reasons why. Why is this happening? Every 2 years, the U.S. Energy Information Administration, which is called the EIA, America's official source for energy statistics, issues a 10-year projection about how much solar, wind, and conventional energy the future holds for the U.S. Every 2 years since the mid-1990s, the EIA projections turns out to be wrong. Not just wrong, but so far wrong, it's absolutely obnoxiously ridiculous for a government agency to even issue the report. That's what makes this like, what is going on? This is really interesting. The EIA's 10-year estimate between 2006 and 2016 systematically underestimated the share of wind, solar, and gas. Solar capacity in particular was a whopping 4,813% more in 2016 than they had predicted it would be. Now, that's amazing. Here's what's interesting, though. The EIA regularly underestimates the growth in renewables, but overestimates U.S. fossil fuel consumption, which some critics see as an attempt to boost the oil and gas industry. This is where it becomes interesting. How can they be underestimating one consistently and overestimating the other so consistently as well, unless something is going on? Very weird, man. I don't know. The EIA's 2015 expectation for solar capacity, this is 2 years ago, was to double by 2026, 11 years later, despite a bunch of projects that basically exceeded double the capacity in 1 year. And they knew about those things. So how far off could they have been, really? So interesting concept. I'm not going to spend much time on there. It just makes you think, like, why? And makes you wonder, and you have to question what the information is that you're getting. And that, I mean, technically, I mean, we vote for politicians and we make decisions on our government's policy on the information that's given to us. And sometimes it's very skewed. So I don't know. Just challenge our thinking. That's all. Not saying that there's a huge thing, but anyways, it is. So Google Trends, guys. Top 10 most searched things yesterday on Google. Number 1, Day of the Dead. Number 2, Brett Ratner. Number 3, Lion King 2019. What? Beyonce will voice Nala in 2019's The Lion King. I saw The Lion King on Broadway, and I have to tell you, it's the only Broadway show that actually brought tears to my eyes at a couple moments in it. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life. Amazing. Number 4, Dustin Hoffman. Number 5, Walmart shooting. Number 6, the EMP. Number 7, Black Friday 2017. I already saw things starting to get promoted for that. Number 8, Tyrese. Number 9, A Bad Mom's Christmas. Number 10, November. November was trending. All right. Who out there yesterday opened up Google and was like, I wonder what November is, and typed in the word November? But it hit number 10 as far as the top 10 most common searches yesterday. What? I don't even get it. But all right, on we go. Trending news, top of the list here, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Sarah Sanders snaps at April Ryan, disgusting and absurd to suggest White House supporters support slavery. Then we have Whole Foods Market Inc. Whole Foods is hiring 6,000 new team members on the spot job offers this Thursday. They're hiring them on the spot. Look at that. Next is the Grand Tour. The Grand Tour, which is a show in Europe. The car. What did they had? They had another name for it here in the U.S. I can't remember what it's called. It's with the 3 guys and they test all kinds of different cars. Anyways, the Grand Tour debuts. New trailer announces season 2 premiere date. After that, we have Saukville, Wisconsin. Mom straps son to the roof of minivan to hold down plastic pool. What? Mom strapped son to the roof of her minivan to hold down a plastic pool. First question I have is, why do you need a plastic pool in November? That was the first question that came to my mind. I'm sorry. Then came what kind of straps and how old was the son and why would you do that? But first was, why do you need a pool? So anyways, next, George Papadopoulos, love the name, is trending. Next, Tony Yarber, former Jackson mayor paddles suspect caught breaking into his car. Wow, somebody got paddled. Interesting. Next, Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau dresses as Clark Kent for Halloween. Next, Bill de Blasio. Last thing anyone should do is politicize this tragedy, talking about what happened in New York. And that is the stories of the day. So let's move on, guys, to a passage of wisdom. And let's see what's happening here. A little more timeless. 2 verses today. This passage I read this morning, and I was like, you know what? I want to share that because for some, this could be very educational. And that's why I wanted to share this one. Because I'm sure that there's questions sometimes of where does temptation come from? When you're feeling tempted, or if there's a temptation that you just can't seem to get past, where is that coming from? So here is a passage to enlighten us all on temptation. James chapter 1, verses 13 and 14. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. There you go. Very simple. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. So temptation does not come from God. It comes from our own desires and enticements that course through our brains. And sometimes we don't have the strength, right, to hold up to them, and we give in to temptation. And sometimes we do have the strength and we can get past. So the key here is that it is not God who is tempting us, and that so that we can call on God to give us strength against temptation, because the temptation is not coming from him. That is the key for me from this passage. So let's pray, guys, and let's get this day started. Father, good morning. Father, thank you for today, November the 2nd, this Thursday, this one special day, one of a kind. Never had it before, and we will never have this day again. Father, I thank you for this passage this morning in enlightening us and helping us to know that temptation does not come from you. Father, today I pray that you give myself and all of us the strength to stand tall with confidence against the temptations that normally we fall into the traps of. We all know where our weak spots are. Help us to avoid situations that those weak spots may come from. Help us have clarity of mind and strong will to when we're having tempting thoughts, to push them out as quickly as they come in, and that we don't dwell on them and then give in to them and find ourselves in a trap. Father, today I also pray for physical healing to help me and my back and anybody else this morning who's having physical pain, to help us have the strength to push through and heal, that we can go and do some great things today and great opportunities that might come across our paths. We know that we can depend on you for strength, as you love us so much and you have created us with such intention and purpose, that we don't want our weakness, our physical weaknesses, to hold us back from the great things that we can do in your name. Father, be with us today and keep us safe as we go through our day. We love you. Amen. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thanks for being here this morning in the morning routine. Until tomorrow, when you'll find out whether I succumbed to my back pain or was able to suffer and push through. But until tomorrow, don't forget that today you can be exactly who you were meant to be. I love you guys. Have a great day.